If you're watching this right now, it's not an accident. Your energy is calling in every experience you're having. And today I'm going to teach you how to shift it. So I went through this a lot when I was first waking up on my journey. And it's really interesting because when we first wake up on our journey, it can look rather confusing. And sometimes we go in many different directions and we think we need to go this way and that way. And there is a lot of energies involved, and there's a lot of teachers and gurus and spiritual leaders out there that are trying to lead you in many good ways and sometimes in not so good ways to your spiritual enlightenment, to awaken more on your path. And when we want to step into a very strong power, many times we don't know if we can handle the power, right? There's the famous saying that goes, with great power comes great responsibility. And that is to say that for me, the energy I was kind of calling in was one of desperation. I really wanted to get enlightenment figured out. I really wanted to be so powerful on my journey and really inhibit all of these different qualities that I saw these really strong spiritual leaders and shaman have. And I was like, well, how can I attain that? How can I be that? Right. And sometimes it's be careful what you wish for. And so when I went along, I found some teachers, some that were really good, and I found some that weren't so good. And I went down, and the energy I kept calling in was I found myself in a group that was very cult like, okay? And the things that we were learning gave me extreme power, gave me so much upliftment, right? I felt very confident in myself. Well, during the training, when we went kind of into the second part of the training, the leader of this group, who referred to himself kind of as a guru, really, I guess, brought me back down to earth, right? And really kind of shattered our egos, but really made it a competition amongst ourselves, right? Amongst each other. And the more I dove deep into this group and the things that we were learning, the more I realized that we weren't doing good, and rather the powers that we were inhibiting were things that were being taken away from other people. And so we have to be really careful with the energy that we call in as we shift and as we awaken on our journey. Where, if not, you keep attracting very similar situations. It was very hard for me to escape the situation. I'm going to be extremely honest with you. I'm surprised I kind of made it out alive. And over time, I began to trust myself more. I began to realize that I am powerful within myself. I am powerful if I create my own ally team. I'm powerful if I trust in myself and I trust in spirit and God or whatever you believe in. And I wasn't so reliant on really these darker, heavier energies that were kind of coming in, because it was almost like a Star Wars situation, right? With like Anakin and and he was given the choice, right? And he was battling within himself to use it for good or for use it for bad, right? And that's all perception anyways. What is good, what is bad, we don't know, but we can look at it as frequencies, right? Higher frequencies are joy, love, happiness, gratitude, while as lower frequencies are fear, anger, depression, anxiety. And so when we look at that and we realize, okay, I see the situations that I'm attracting into my life. They're not good. I'm acting out of fear. I'm acting out of desperation, because when you do that, you don't have to take my example, but in other examples, what we have talked about in earlier videos is that when we focus on that, that's more that we're going to attract into our life. Okay? Because when I left that group, more of that came into me. Okay? I went from crazier group to ultimate crazy group. Okay? And during that time, I felt extremely lost. I was operating very low vibration and I felt lost, a lot of fear. I was extremely anxious all the time. My anxiety came back tenfold. I was having panic attacks. I was just having the worst time. And it wasn't until I found myself moving back into presence, moving back into who I am as a human being, finding my true authentic self, connecting with the energy and the source and the power that's already within me to transform and transmute my life into something better, into something that I wanted to create. And I didn't have to rely on these ancient powers and these ancient rituals that were taught to me to cultivate that, to bring that back in. Because at a deep level, I knew that I should have acted out of a space of love, out of a space of gratitude. And I was really told that those emotions are great, but that's not where we want to stem our power. It was literally like, when Palpatine was telling Anakin, use your anger, use your grief, use that, use those deep rooted emotional issues to really cultivate the power that you want. And that's not what we're going to do. I want to shift what's in me, shift what's kind of going in first internally, to then bring in and live the life and shift the energy and just bring in more of this divine, beautiful energy to live the life that I'm supposed to live. And so I'm going to say it again. We want to move into a place where we are living more out of the heart space. We want to come back to where story does not matter. We are not a victim of our circumstance. We're not a victim of our reality. And if that's going to take you sitting in meditation to realize it, then you need to be meditating when you can. If it's only for 5 minutes, it's only for 5 minutes, and then build upon that, okay? And placing our hand on our heart and dropping down and being silent. And when we are silent and we sit in our heart, that is when the true nature will come to us. That is when the answers will come. That is when the light will shine upon the path in which we will need to take. And so we need to realize that when we see our energy shifting, we don't want to go down these paths of making our life out of desperation, out of fear, out of anxiety, out of depression, whatever that may be for you. We don't want to create a life out of that, okay? We want to sit here and move into it. And like I said, if that takes you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then do it a little bit throughout the day, especially when your energy starts to dip. When your energy starts to dip, that's when you know you need to do it. That's when you know you need to tighten it up. and make that part of your morning routine, midday routine, and night routine. And you will watch how things really shift for you and how they're going to go. And knowing deep down inside that you're not stuck, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just learn from the story I told you. Don't act out of desperation. Don't act out of a need. Go back within yourself, and you will lead you to the right answer. God or spirit will lead you to where you need to go and what you need to do. So if you found this video to be helpful, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.